DeForest, thanks for your time. I'm just wondering, now that you've had a chance to kind of do some virtual meetings with the coaches, has there been any surprises, anything you didn't expect with this defense or this scheme?
No, not at all. I know, that they run a 4-3 and, they want to attack up front and, everything's, what I expected, going through the meetings. We have some, we ran some similar plays in San Francisco and I'm just getting used to the, terminology that they use throughout all the plays. But I mean, everything that I expected so far.
Zach Kiefer.
Hey, DeForest.
How you doing?
Good. I know you haven't been on the field with these guys yet, and that's the truest test, right, to see where they're at.
Right.
But there's a lot of buzz building about this team in Indy. There's been a lot of big moves, you among them, and you just came from an NFC champion in San Francisco. What do you think this team's going to look like in the fall, based on everything you've learned over the last couple of months about your new team?
Yeah, just being in the meeting room and everything, virtually obviously, but just seeing, hearing these guys talk and, go through the defense and everything. I mean, we got a lot of smart guys on this team, a lot of young guys, and watching some film, everybody's talented. So, we got a really good group, and I'm just excited to get on the field with them because I think we have a lot of potential, and we can take it a long ways this year. And I'm just seeing, the camaraderie on the team and, how everybody gels together. I mean, and that's just over, Zoom. I can't wait to get in the building and, be able to, really get to know everyone personally.
Kevin Bowen.
Hey, DeForest, thanks for doing this. I know kind of a popular thing this time of year, maybe more in the summer, is quarterbacks getting with their wideouts and kind of doing some voluntary stuff to get on the same page. Is that something you feel is needed defensively at all, like considering the circumstances, or as a leader of this defense, how do you kind of go about that?
No, most definitely. When you're working together, especially as a D line, rushing the quarterback, that's a big thing. You rush as a unit, and when you're going through, certain games and twist games and all that kind of stuff, you got to build that chemistry with one another, and that's what we had in San Francisco. Building that chemistry with each other, on the field. And so, I mean, it sucks, being, everybody's in, different parts, the country and everything, but. That's one of the things that you really need as a unit, those walkthroughs and, going through, everything full speed together to build that chemistry. So, whenever the whole quarantine thing is lifted and everybody can get back in the building and start getting on the field and doing that work, the better.
Dave Griffiths.
Hey, DeForest, you mentioned just the camaraderie of the team that you've experienced over the meetings. Do you feel like part of the group? I know it might be difficult to work your way in just Zoom meetings, but have you felt welcomed in? Have you felt that, hey, you are a Colt now that you've kind of been able to talk at least virtually with a lot of these guys?
Yeah, most definitely. And especially when I, first signed, exactly, you know what I mean? Some of the guys on the team reached out to me, texted me their numbers and told me, whatever I need, just hit them up. The coaches, they've done a really good job with, having a lot of the new guys introduce themselves, talk a little bit. I mean, we all, as an entire defense, introduce, Flus had everyone, introduce their families and everything, so we can really get to know each other. And that's what I thought was really cool. You know what I mean? It's not just the football aspect of everything. They really want everybody to, get to know each other and everything. And I've definitely felt a part of the group so far.
Phil B.
Thank you for your time, DeForest. I'm wondering where you're riding all this out, whether you're out in California or where you're at, and whether virtually you've paired up with anybody and workouts, watch somebody do this or that or whatever, and then maybe you could speak to how this transformation in your life really hasn't taken hold yet until you get to Indianapolis. And
Yeah, right now I'm actually in California. I'm in Fresno. Me and my wife, we pretty much moved into our my in-laws, her parents' house. They're helping us with the baby. He just made a month, so they've been helping us out a lot during this transition. We actually just came back from Indy 2 days ago. We moved into our new home starting to move and everything. So being out there definitely made things feel a lot more real. You know what I mean? It's been it was the first time I've been out there since I signed. So it's crazy experience, but we're very happy to, make the transition. We're excited with everything. Went through the city. I mean, it's a beautiful city. Um, and what was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
All about if you've paired up with anybody virtually. I know Darius and Anthony challenge each other in virtual workouts and get on each other. Do you have anybody new teammates?
So far it's really just been been going back and forth with Sheldon Day. My guy that that came over, from the Niners. We've been texting our graphs, our heart rate monitor and graphs to each other and everything, seeing how we were doing and everything. So we've been really, challenging each other. So, I mean, since day one, since we've known each other. So that's what we've been doing. And the workouts and everything has been going well so far, that they've sent us. So I'm just ready to, have everything get on the field with everyone.
Thank you.
Andrew Walker.
Hey, DeForest. In this defense, we've heard a lot about the three tech. When you have a good one, what kind of difference can that really make? Because obviously everyone wants to get push and get after the passer, but in your experience, when you're able to be really disruptive, what is it about that three tech position specifically that they say drives this whole thing?
Yeah. The three tech position is obviously a very important part of this defense, specifically just because, especially in the run game, holding up on those double teams, keeping your linebackers clean, being able to run free and make more tackles, obviously, around the field. And also, in the pass game, you get some one-on-one opportunities, and so you can really take advantage of that. So when you really got a really good, dominant three technique that can, split double teams in the run game or even, when you get that slide in the pass game and split double teams and also, be effective in both aspects of the game. It's a game changer for a defense as a whole. Everybody benefits. The rest of the D-line benefits. The back end benefits from it. And so, and obviously, the team does. So, it's a big, it's a big role, a lot of responsibility, but just like any other, position on the, on the defense. But that's definitely one of the main, keep positions on D.
Mike Wells.
Hey, DeForest, as you've gotten to know Matt Eberflus with his defense, what has impressed you about how he goes about teaching the defense? I know you probably won't get a better grasp of it until you get on the field and start going through it, but from his teaching standpoint, so what have you enjoyed?
Yeah, he just tries to keep everything simple, so guys can play fast, especially for the guys up front. He just wants us to, he says he wants us to shatter glass. You know what I mean? He wants us to get upfield and go fast as possible and, wreak havoc. So that's what I love about him so far, you know what I mean? And, going through a lot of the movements and, certain things throughout the defense, he just wants everybody to be able to play fast. So he tries to keep it as simple as possible.
And to follow up on that, just as far as when you see a guy like Justin Houston, knowing he's on the edge and his ability to get to the quarterback, do you ever find yourself thinking about what you guys can do along with the other pass rushers you guys have on that D-line?
Yeah, most definitely. Justin's one of the best in the game. You know what I mean? He's a talented player, against the run and obviously against the pass. He's a quarterback's worst nightmare. So being able to have that threat on the edge and also a lot of the other guys on the team, Grove in the middle and, Kamoko on the outside, then Banagoo, everyone, then Nico, all these guys, they're all talented in their own way and can affect the quarterback. And so being able to, my whole thing is being able to get on the field with all of them, being able to build that chemistry because I know we can do a lot this year.
Lou Friedman. Go ahead, Lou.
Okay. You answered a little bit of this in some of the other questions, but do you kind of wake up every morning and say, gee, I hope today's the day we get the call, we can kind of go in? And have you talked about it with the other guys at all in your contacts? Are they all sitting around and say, geez, I wonder how long this is going to last, or we want to get there?
Yeah, it's just a weird time, for all of us. Everybody, personally speaking, everyone has a schedule in the off season of how we do things. And, how we go about our business. And so it's just been, you got to overcome a lot of obstacles throughout the, with places being closed down or trying to find more resources to, get your work in and all of that. So, I mean, obviously, every day I hope we get the text or the call saying that, we can report on this certain date and get in the building. And I'm pretty sure, I know that's everybody's mindset on this whole situation.
Jim Aiello.
Hey, DeForest, thanks for doing this. I just want to. You're first round pick, top 10 pick. You've felt pressure before, but I'm wondering, the Colts trade their first round pick for you, signed a big contract, and now there's a lot of. I think Chris Ballard has talked about the position you play being kind of the engine that makes this defense go. There's a lot being kind of put on you right now. I was curious, do you feel like there's any added pressure to lead or more responsibility on you than you've had before, or things like that?
Not at all. They watch my film. I talked to Chris and all of them, and I'm excited to be here. And there's no other added pressure that I feel at all. I go into every season knowing that my job is up for grabs as well, and I know what I do in the off season to prepare for the season, and there's no need to stress about any of it. You know what I mean? I just got to come in and continue to do what I do and what I've done my entire career in San Francisco and bring it over to the Colts. It's the same game, same position I'm playing, and I just need to come out here and show everyone in Colts Nation what I bring to the table. I've done it for 4 years in San Francisco, and I just need to bring it over here. I just need to continue what I'm doing and get better as I'm doing it.
Stephen Holder.
Hey, DeForest, you kind of touched on the role of the three technique a little earlier. I'm wondering, I'm familiar with what they want you to do here, but can you contrast, if at all, if there's a contrast between the role here and the role in San Francisco? Is it much different at all? I know you're in the gap, you're attacking, you're trying to get up the field. How different, if at all, is that from San Francisco for you?
It's not different at all. Robert Saleh, our D coordinator, had the same expectations for me while I was there, what they expected me to do, at the three tech position. And it's the same, what they expect, from me here. So, like I said, it's the same, I'm walking into the same situation that I was, 3 years ago when Robert Saleh came and changed the defense to a 4-3, 3 years ago when I was in San Francisco. So it's the same situation for me. And, I've been very fortunate for that. And, the same expectations that, the coaches expect from me. So that's what I'm very excited about.
We'll do the last question, Andrew Walker.
Yeah, so you've routinely played 80, 90% of plays on defense throughout your career. With the Colts, there's been a clear rotation under Matt Eberflus up front. Have there been any talks about that yet? I know you got to kind of get on the field, but about having the ability to stay fresher, or I'm sure you'd rather be on the play every play if you could, but I'm wondering if that's been a discussion point yet.
Yeah, if I had it my way, I'd be on the field, the entire time. But you know what I mean? That's not up to me. And there have been talk about having a rotation and everything, and we've done it. We've done it quite a bit in San Francisco, having the depth that we had there last year. And what I'm all for whatever helps the team. And obviously, I get tired as well during games and everything. And I there's plays where I need to come out and get a breather because obviously I'm not as effective being tired. So we've talked about having a rotation so guys can stay fresher. From on a down basis. So. As these events go on and, we start reporting and getting on the field, we'll see more of that rotation as, the season progresses.